Hello and welcome our viewers in Nigeria and around the world to Global TV News Cycle live in Nigeria's capital, Abuja. I am Judith Peters. President Bola Ahmed Tinubu has reaffirmed his support for a robust public-private sector partnership to grow the economy, saying that his administration sustained bold and coordinated reforms anchored on a strong adherence to accountability and transparency. Speaking at an audience on Thursday in Abuja with members of the board management of the Nigeria Economic Support Group, NESG, the president reiterated his equivocal resolve to fully implement the 8 priority reform areas under the Renewed Hope agenda within the next 3 years. The president emphasized that Nigeria is blessed with rich human and natural resources, in addition to deficit opportunities, which can quickly be leveraged into new prosperity. Calling for the urgent exploitation of Nigerians' diversity for collective gain, with an eye on new think tanks in the agriculture sector and the establishment of a commodity exchange. The president noted that he was elected on a no-excuses platform for renewed hope and that he will not accept excuses from anyone in his government as they set out to deliver on his agenda. Also, the president, Bola Ahmed Tinubu, on Thursday said all diplomatic options will be exhausted with the military junta in Niger Republic before any last resort of military intervention comes into the picture, insisting that any forceful removal of a democratic government remains wholly unacceptable. President Tinubu noted that the alternative of kinetic intervention in Niger Republic had not been jettisoned. He also said that his fear has been confirmed in Gabon that copycat will start doing the same thing until it has stopped. We are neighbors with Niger Republic, and what has joined Nigerians together with their great people cannot be broken. Nobody is interested in a war. We have seen the devastation in Ukraine and Sudan, but if we don't wield the big stick, we will all suffer the consequences together, the president warned. President Tinubu noted that Nigeria, under General Abdulsalami Abubakar, instituted a 9-month transition program in 1998, and it's proved very successful, leading the country into a new era of democratic governance. The president sees no reason why such cannot be replicated in Niger, if Niger's military authorities are sincere. In the same vein, Tinubu talked on the hardship faced by many Nigerians post-fuel subsidy removal. The president assured that all ongoing reforms will liberate and reposition the economy, which will benefit the majority of the population in terms of opportunities, infrastructure, healthcare, and education. Nigeria is headed for a promise. Our diversity will turn into prosperity, not adversity. We'll build a country that our children will be proud of, the president assured. Senator representing Zamfara West, Abdulaziz Yari, says some parts of Zamfara state recorded progress recently in the fight against insecurity as a result of intervention by President Bola Ahmed Tinubu through the Office of the National Security Advisor. Senator Yari, who was on his first official visit to President Tinubu since he assumed office at the State House Abuja, added that President Tinubu is working closely with the security chiefs to further address the security challenges in the northwest and across the country. Judith Peters has the details. Senator Yari says there is no close relationship between mining and insecurity in Zamfara state, alleging that cattle rustling and miners are mostly responsible for the crisis.
I want to look at it and study carefully the relationship between the mining and the insecurity. This insecurity are either cattle rustling or human abduction. So if you look at it, and then you say mining, so what is it? So why we are saying the relationship between the insecurity and the mining are not together? For one reason, the local will be attacked almost on a daily basis, while people are doing the mining are being free, so no any wahala. So they start to put two together and said, okay, either those that are doing the mining are supporting the bandit or they are giving the whatever support it is in any way, or they are together because they have, if it's money, they have, they're mining gold or some minerals, that they should go and attack them. But there's no attack in that area, in that place, and they are neighbor just by the border. So what is happening? So they now protested that those people must leave the place.
Yari, while pleading his support for the current administration, advised the government to continue the good reforms and programs it has started, citing the removal of petrol subsidy as a step in the right direction.
The subsidy is become something since Obasanjo's time, down to El Adua, down to Jonathan, down to Muhammadu Buhari. They are looking how are we going to do away with the issue of subsidy. Because we, in the main problem, we know what it is. We know the trouble that is in, and we know the suspicion that we have in when we talk of issue of corruption, what is there in. You cannot ascertain, you cannot say the numbers. So what is the best for us? How can we keep it aside and then we move forward? Because if you did not, the issue will remain as it is and the problem will remain as it is, and we need more and more resources to develop infrastructure in Nigeria, to develop other sector of the economy, but we're putting it on something that we're not sure of what we're doing. So that decision has been taken by the government immediately, and that's part of what we are going to discuss and see how it's going to benefit Nigeria more.
The Zamfara West Senator also congratulated the Nigeria leader on his victory in the 2023 general election while wishing the administration well. Still on the news cycle, President Bola Ahmed Tinubu has met with members of the Nigeria Supreme Council for Islamic Affairs behind closed doors at the presidential villa, Abuja. Members of the NSCIA were led to the meeting by the Sultan of Sokoto, Alhaji Sahad Abubakar. Speaking to State House correspondent, Ministers of Information and National Orientation Mohammed Idris, who disclosed issues discussed at the meeting, said that the President Tinubu urged the Islamic scholars to be at the forefront of fostering national unity and societal integration.
Well, the Nigerian Supreme Council for Islamic Affairs decided it fit to pay a solidarity visit to Mr. President. They came to offer him some advice on the happenings in the country. They've also solicited for his cooperation and to ensure that the unity of Nigeria continues to be maintained. Mr. President, on his own part, has thanked them. He has accepted all the words of advice they've offered him.
Now, the governor of Lagos State, Babajide Sanwo-Olu, has applauded Nigeria's First Lady, Senator Oluremi Tinubu, for any intervention and empowering women and other vulnerable groups under society through our Renewed Hope initiative. Kikelomo Okere reports that the governor stated this after paying a costly visit to the First Lady at the State House in Abuja.
The intervention of the initiative in the education sector were a national scholarship program which was recently flagged off in Abuja with 43 beneficiaries across the nation, women ICT training and other empowerment programs in the agriculture and social investment. The governor notes that this will complement similar policies objective of Bola Tinubu's Renewed Hope agenda, as well as serve to reassure Nigerians.
On the Renewed Hope initiative, which we've all heard about, which is championing with a lot of the other first ladies and of course the wife of the vice president, really just to encourage and to share the vision that she has for the Renewed Hope initiative, and just to talk me through, I mean, what kind of interventions they're looking at and how she's running a complementary role to what Mr. President is also doing, and I think it's great. You know, our own idea is not necessarily to begin to build brick and mortar, is really to be able to intervene, you know, in schools, you know, for people needing scholarship, in farming, you know, people needing implements, you know, seedlings, and also to be able to provide immediate succor, you know, for families and for people that that are vulnerable in the society, that the initiative can indeed target it, and I think it's beautiful.
The ongoing reform by President Bola Ahmed Tinubu Governor Sanwo-Olu says taking the country to a level where every Nigerian can be comfortable requires hard decision and systematic effort by the government, as well as a lot of patience on the part of the citizens. Kike Lomo Ukeri, Global Television News.
Set a news cycle on Global TV. The Armed Forces of Nigeria says the ongoing counterinsurgency and counter-terrorism operation across the country remain critical to the armed forces' effort to achieve peace and ensure that violent extremist groups do not find safe haven in the country. Director of Defense Media Operations Major General Edward Buba made this known while briefing journalists on the operationalized activities of the Nigerian military in the last 2 weeks. He stated that the focus of the military is to conduct its operations in support of national security interests, adding that the armed forces will continue to work with supportive groups to defeat any entity undermining security and safety in the country. Kikelomo Okere brings those details.
Major General Buba noted that during the week leading to 31st of August 2023, the military neutralized 39 terrorists and arrested 157, stating that troops also rescued 109 kidnapped hostages. He also noted that the troops of Operation Safe Haven conducted raids and recovered arms in Jos North local government area of Plateau State. The operation resulted in neutralized terrorists, arrested of notorious armed robbers, and rescue of kidnapped hostages in Jema local government area of Kaduna State.
Arrested 33 of them, rescued 40 kidnapped hostages, among others. More on the northwest, where we have Operation Wild Punch. Troops of Operation Wild Punch in the fight against terrorists rescued kidnapped hostages at Chikum and Birnin-Gwari local government areas of Kaduna State. Troops' offensive actions resulted in the arrest of suspected terrorists and the recovery of arms and ammunition.
Troops of Operation Delta Safe sustained the momentum against the activities of crude oil theft. Troops destroyed several illegal refining sites and recovered stolen products. Troops also intercepted and destroyed vehicles loaded with illegal refined products in Ugeli and Elema local government area of Delta State and Rivers State, respectively. However, troops arrested 16 perpetrators of oil theft and denied them of the sum of 765,863,000 naira.
On the 21st of August, Air Component conducted air interdiction over active illegal refining sites at ABC and Idama. The targets were engaged, destroying equipment and reservoirs used by the crude oil thieves. Additionally, the air component destroyed a boat fully loaded with illegal refined products sited within the general area.
The Military High Command says it will continue to pursue aggressive military operations against violent extremist groups seeking to undermine the security of the country and conduct violence against the people. Kikelomo Ukeri, Global Television News, Abuja.
Thank you very much, Kikelomo Ukeri, for that report. Also, the Nigerian Army has called on the Civilian Joint Task Force to avoid extrajudicial killings and respect human rights while carrying out its responsibilities of protecting their communities against the bandits in Zamfara State. Commander 1 Brigade of the Nigerian Army, Gusau Brigadier General Sani Ahmed, made the call during a donation of 100 sets of Belfine communication radio as part of the Army's corporate social responsibilities to the host communities and to enhance the operational capacity of the Civilian Joint Task Force. In the state towards restoring peace and security, Sandra Akbar has details.
Commander 1 Brigade of the Nigerian Army Gusau, Brigadier General Sani Ahmed, explained that the donation of 100 sets of communication radios to members is to improve civil-military cooperation and to aid the Civilian Joint Task Force in carrying out their responsibilities in securing lives and properties in their various communities effectively against the bandits. The brigade commander also charged them to adequately share credible information among the vigilantes and improve alertness in their communities.
Recently, we've given some of the communities motorcycles to aid their mobility while discharging their tasks. And it was brought to the fore the need for them to have a better means of communication in areas where the GSM coverage is lacking or none at all. In that regard, the command, Sector 1, Joint Task Force Northwest Operation Hadarin Daji, decided to support further the civilian JTF by provision of radios, which you call walkie-talkies. These radios were configured and the channel streamlined for use by the civilian JTF, and it is well configured in a way that it will not be interfered with.
The chairman, Civilian Joint Task Force, Ahmed Mohammed, applauds the Commander 1 Brigade for his noble gestures, assuring that the Bofeng communication radios would greatly enhance their operational activities in the state. He further assured that they will operate according to the laid down rules and regulations as well as respect human rights. Sandra Akpa for Global TV News.
Thank you, Sandra Akpa. Minister of Interior Olubunmi Tunji-Ojo has taken a resolute stance to eradicate all obstacles impeding the smooth processing of international passport by the Nigerian Immigration Service, NIS. Tunji-Ojo conveyed the approach during his inaugural visit to the NIS headquarters in Abuja on Wednesday. He declared that the extensive delays endured by Nigerians while awaiting passport assurance are no longer tolerable. Acquiring a passport is a fundamental right, not a privilege, he emphasized. This is the time to feel the pains of Nigerians and through our actions show that we care. The minister asserted that a dedicated team was being set up comprising NIS officials and Minister of Interior representatives to critically examine and recommend strategies that would dismantle the barriers that have hindered efficient processing. You are watching the news cycle coming to you live from Nigeria's capital, Abuja. We're on StarTimes channel 276. Kindly follow us across our social media platform using @GlobalTVNG and other handles now showing on your TV screen. We'll be back with more details for you after this break. Please stay with us. Welcome back, and if you're just joining us, this is Global Television bringing you a live broadcast of the news cycle from Nigeria's capital, Abuja. At least 3 people have been killed as Hurricane Idai slammed into the Florida coastline on Wednesday morning, sowing a path of destruction as it toured northward into Georgia and South Carolina. The Florida Highway Patrol described the 2 of the dead as separate rain-related incidents. In one case, a 59-year-old man appears to have lost control of his truck during extremely rain condition in Janesville, Florida, crashing into a ditch and then a line of trees. The second incident occurred in Pasco County. A 40-year-old man that was driving too fast for condition and struck a tree, the Highway Patrol said. Also, the National Identity Management Commission has only been able to meet 47.6% of the federal government's monthly target of 2.5 million registration in the first 8 months of the year. According to findings, this is as the number of Nigeria with a national identification number increased to 102.1 0.39 million in August, despite a slowdown in the number of enrollments, according to NIMC data obtained and analyzed. Enrollment has fallen by 35.14% year-on-year in the first 8 months of the year, as only 8.36 million as of August 28, 2023. People have enrolled for NIN so far this year from the 12.89 million people that had enrolled as of July 7, 2022. NIN enrollment per month on average is 1.19 million per month in the first 8 months of 2023. The data indicated that the country is falling short of its 2.5 million national identification number enrollment target per month as set in the National Development Plan 2021 to 2025. And now the Independent Petroleum Marketers Association of Nigeria, IPMAN, Musimi Depot on Wednesday has threatened to drag the Nigerian National Petroleum Corporation, NNPC, to court over its refusal to supply its members petroleum products 8 months after payment for the product. The association said it was left with no other option than to drag the corporation to court by September next month should NNPC continue to deny its members supplies of the petroleum products earlier paid for through the Lagos DPO between November 2022 and January 2023, when they were due full supplies. Speaking with journalists in Abeokuta, the Ogun State capital, IPMAN Musima Depot chairman Otumba Femi Adelaja said it was disheartening on the part of the management of NNPC, Musimi Depot, to exhibit the threat of a fraudulent organization by deliberately refusing to make supplies available to members whose business have been surviving on bank loans. Adelaja also called on the Economic and Financial Crimes Commission, EFCC, as well as other relevant anti-graft agency to quickly wade into the matter before NNPC would succeed at chasing its members out of business. Lastly, ambassadors from the Chinese, Indian, Mexican and Indonesia's government have said that they will continue to deepen investment in Nigeria economy. The envoy spoke at the International Business Conference and Expo 2023 organized by the Lagos Chamber of Commerce and Industry with the theme Invest Nigeria. In his remark, the Chinese ambassador to Nigeria, Jian Chan, said the Chinese government will deepen its tie with Nigeria through sustainable investment. He noted that many Chinese companies, such as Huawei, have already begun to consolidate their presence in Nigeria through strategic investment. India's ambassador to Nigeria, Sri Balasubramanian, said that it is the past 4 decades India had made investments spanning across the pharmaceutical, food and manufacturing sector to the tune of $19 billion. And that's it on the news cycle, coming to you from Nigeria's capital, Abuja. We are Global Television, and of course, do well to follow us across our social media platform using at Global TV NG. We're on StarTimes channel 276. Thank you very much for listening. On behalf of the production team, I am Judith Peters. Rest well.